Juan Mendez Scott's Big Sexy. Chapter 9. Netta. The clouds hung low and heavy, a dark mass threatening to unleash a torrential downpour. Despite this, Duane was in the driveway, diligently waxing his Aston Martin, rap music blasting from the garage. He didn't notice me as I pulled up, the thumping bass drowning out any sound of my arrival. I strolled over, already flirting with my eyes. Duane paused, his waxing cloth still in hand, and looked up, his expression a mix of surprise and suspicion, as if he thought a crazy woman had wandered onto his property. Straightening up, he eyed me warily. "Enjoying this nice weekend weather, Duane?" I asked with a smile. He glanced at the ominous sky and then back at me. "How can I help you, sweetheart?" Circling the car with a seductive sway in my hips, I purred, "So when are you going to take me for a ride in this Aston Martin Big Sexy?" "Look, sweetheart, you need to leave my wife alone." "Straight up," he said, his voice firm. "I'm not doing anything to your wife, baby," I replied, stepping closer, our eyes locked. Nah, I know what you did to her in high school," Duane said, removing his sunglasses to glare at me directly. "You drove that girl crazy." "No, I didn't." "Yes, you did too." "No, I drove her boyfriend Craig crazy. Then he shot himself in the face. And that was what drove Maggie crazy." "I didn't drive Maggie crazy." "Well, you're about driving her crazy now." "The only thing I'm trying to drive right now is you," I said, my voice dripping with innuendo. He stared at me, shook his head, and put his shades back on. "You need to stop." "Stop playing, you know you want this," I teased, slowly lifting my skirt with the tips of my fingers. Duane's eyes roamed over me, and I could see the effect I was having on him. His arousal was obvious, straining against his sweatpants. Despite this, he tried to hide it, tugging at his t-shirt in a futile attempt to cover himself. He sighed heavily. "Stop that, baby, don't do that. We got neighbors." "I can take my clothes off somewhere else where your neighbors can't see us," I said, my smile wicked and enticing. And then it happened. As if summoned by the tension, Maggie burst out of the house in her silk housecoat, barefoot and brandishing a butcher knife. I didn't have time to play the seductress. I slipped out of my sexy sandals, ready to run. I took Maggie's appearance very seriously. Duane dropped his wax rag and quickly moved between us, arms stretched out to block her. "Baby!" Maggie tried to maneuver around him, her eyes wild. "Bitch! Didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you?" Duane grabbed her, trying to calm her. "Maggie, chill. Don't tell me to chill. Before you fuck around and cut somebody out here," he said, raising his voice to command her attention. "Maggie, we were just talking, that's all," I said, my voice softening. I didn't want my face marred by her knife. "I was watching you through the window, you slick bitch, I know what I saw," Maggie spat, her eyes never leaving mine. Duane gripped her shoulders, turning her to face him. "Stop trippin'. I do not want her, all right? I love you. I love you." "Let me go." "No, this shit is unnecessary. I do not want her. I love you, you." "He may love you, Maggie, that much is true," I said, grabbing my sandals and heading to my car. "But he'd love to hit this. Bet your fur coat's on it, bitch." Maggie broke free from Duane's grip, the knife swinging wildly. He ducked out of her way as she charged at me. I barely managed to get into my car, slamming the door shut just as she reached me. Her knife struck the window, but I was already speeding off down the street, leaving her and Duane behind.